into all that in a minute because we, ladies and gentlemen, greetings, salutations, respect, and love. Oh my goodness gracious, boys and girls, cats and kittens. It's a big, big day in the Prog Corner because we have none other than the one, the only, the legendary Jonas Reingold is joining us all the way from where are you from? Where are you calling us from today?
I'm currently in Germany, Marburg. It's like north of Frankfurt. Hello, guys. By the way, nice to be here.
Hey,
Nice
we
to
are.
meet you.
I am joined by none other than Kevin from Prog Radio. Kevin, all the way from Florida. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hugest Jonas fan. Who isn't? But
Yeah.
I was telling Scott, Karmakanic was the second band that got me back into prog. The first one was Transatlantic, which led me to Flower Kings, which led me to Karmakanic. And man, I just devoured it. Dot, I was telling Scott, Dot was the first prog album I actually waited to have come out because I went for years without listening to music. So huge fan.
And now
I've seen you several times with Hackett.
yeah. And now we only waited 9 years for the next one.
Yeah. Let's not do that. Let's not wait. That kind of it was just too long. I didn't think we were going to get a new Karmakanic because, as you know, Cody, Jonas has been busy for the last 5 years. You got a pretty good little side hustle going with some dude my audience might know, Steve Hackett. How long has this gig gone on? Has it been 5 years yet?
More than 5 years. I started January 2018. So
wow.
It's 7 years now.
Oh, 7.
Yeah.
Nice. And, running through the credits for the brand new Karmakanic album, it does kind of look like you brought the Steve Hackett band. Here we go. I'm going to make you big here for a second, just so the boys and girls who don't know already about the greatness of this new Karmakanic album. Look at the people on this record, Jonas. Look at this. I wish you knew a good drummer. It would be really nice if for once in your life, right, you played on a record with a decent drummer. Jeez. I mean, this is ridiculous. You've got Simon Phillips, Craig Blundell, and Nick DiVirgilio. Those guys, I don't know if any of you people know who those guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Andy Tillison, my spirit animal. Oh, I bow to the altar of Andy Tillison. He shows up here. Lale Larson, Roger King, Thomas Bodine. Oh, we love Thomas. He's amazing. Goran Edmond makes an appearance, which a lot of people were worried about, Jonas. They were worried about the lack of Goran on this album. But you've got John Mitchell, so fear not if you're worried about the vocal department. I think you got that covered. Rob Townsend's here. And who is this Dina Hoblinger girl that we saw the video from? Her voice is amazing.
Yeah, that's a girl from Austria that I got to know like 5 years ago. She was kind of living next door to me, like in the same area where I lived in Austria. So raw talent, never been professional. Now the last year she gone professional actually, but she was just the next door girl, but with a great voice. And I kind of discovered that talent, I think. Yeah.
You know what, Jonas? This might be a really good and handy skill for you to have because the 6th Karmakanic album, is no longer on Inside Out. It's on Reingold Records. So maybe this ear for talent, right? Maybe this ability to find talent might be helpful as a label executive, possibly signing new bands in the future. Kevin is now showing the Karmakanic discography. Let's go through it. Entering the Spectra, 2002. Good record. My favorite is Wheel of Life. I absolutely adore Wheel of Life. Who's the Boss in the Factory, 2008. A lot of people's favorite. In a Perfect World. And Dot, the album you talked about. And it is now time to talk about the brand new album, Transmutation. Why did it take so long between albums to get to this point? Because this album is amazing, man.
No, but I'm not known for shitting out records every year. So in the first place, but I started as we said, like with Steve Hackett, 2018 in January, and that was so busy. It takes half of the year, still takes half of the year. We're playing a lot. I think we are the prog band on this planet who played played the most, I would say. And then COVID hit, like 2020, and I was just depressed. I was miserable. I was just sitting in my house drinking and eating, and it was just a very, very spiritually a bad time for me, because it was so uncertain. Is this the new world that we?
Yeah.
Is this what it will be? Because nobody could say anything. And in Austria, where I lived, they have had heavy lockdowns. Everything was closed. Everything. So that was heavy. So I didn't feel inspired to do anything. Yeah, we did a few records. We did the backstage album with the Hackett guys and so on. But that's about it. And then we started to tour. 2022 was crazy. I was home like 20 days that year. We played all the rebooked shows that we canceled 20 and 21 with Hackett. And so that was crazy busy. I've never been more busy ever than that year. And then 23, I started with this album. So it's not, unthinkable that it takes so long, because the year's passing by quickly, if you keep yourself busy. And
Yeah.
But now the last year I really focused on this album, so all the spare time I had I spent with this album.
And it shows. This thing is absolutely incredible. Cody, you got it there in your hand. When did that show up in your mailbox?
So I listened to it obviously on midnight the morning that it released, because I'm a big fan too. I have the Backstage album. I have all the live albums that you did with Hackett. I have other Karmakanic CDs. I listened to this on streaming the night that it released, and the CD showed up on my doorstep about 10 minutes before getting on this call.
Nice.
I already listened to it multiple times on Apple Music.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, if I may.
Yeah.
So you've been playing with the Steve Hackett band for, like you said, about 6-7 years now. I've seen you a bunch of times. Every time you guys have been to Ontario, Canada, I've been there every time. I've seen you every time you played with Steve, every show, every time. And so I want to ask you, playing with the Steve Hackett band and linking up with those guys, what has it done for your other projects? Like, you're in the Tangent, and obviously you had the Backstage thing, and now the new Karmakanic album. What has that done? Has it helped to open up your music to a different audience?
I don't know, not really. I would say what it does is maybe not towards the audience, because I think mainly the Hackett audience, the most part of it, they are not connected to the prog community like you guys, that knows all the side projects, and that they are normal punters, who buy a ticket and watch the show, and because they saw Genesis in the 70s, they don't know that there's a whole community out there with this kind of music. So for them, I don't think it makes such a difference for my project. What it does, though, is like you get connected to the business and you meet a lot of people. That's how I met Simon Phillips, for example. We played together on one track a couple of albums ago for Steve Hackett. So we had a common thing. When he came backstage after a gig on the last cruise, I just took the opportunity to get to know him and ask him, "Do you want to play drums on the next album?" And so that is great with Hackett, I would say, from a business point of view, that you're meeting a lot of people, and always on the cruise. It's a lot of people. Steve is always playing the cruise. So and that's like a big event for us musicians, because we get together and hang, and we should do something, blah blah blah. Mostly it's just bullshit, because you're drunk in the bar and blah blah blah. But but it's good to meet everybody. And once in a while, it's truthful as well, and that's how I met John over the years. I dig your voice, man, and we should do something together. Yeah, I love your bass playing. Yeah, blah blah blah. I love you, man. Like all this, and then it never happened. But this time, when Göran said, "I will retire now," I'm getting close to 70. I have a lot of animals where I live. I cannot go away anymore. Okay. Then it's time for me to change now. And then I gave him a call, okay, John, everything we've talked about the last 20 years or so, meeting on festivals, let's do it now. Come down to Vienna and record some vocals.
Well, I'm glad you did, because this album is spectacular. And I want to say, I'm not a bass player, but the bass tone and the sound and everything you're playing on this and the whole production just sounds absolutely flawless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great album, and I too kind of really, it's a Karmakanic album, so clearly you're paying more attention to what Jonas is doing than what maybe Randy McStein might be doing on a track.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's so many different bass tones, all in the same song. You're hearing like 10 different, completely different bass tones, completely perfect for what the song needs, by the way. It's not like he's showing off or anything. Not like he's doing Bach on the bass or anything like that. God forbid we'd ever do something show-offy on the bass. But
sometimes I do Bach on the bass.
That's right. That's right, man. But this record, just so that people know, it is out already. It came out, on the 7th, so it's been out a couple days. It's called Transmutation. How can people get a hold of this record? Who's got it? Is it available via the normal usual suspects as far as distributors go? How can they get their hands on it?
Yeah, I would suggest if you live in the States and you want a physical copy, you contact Laser's Edge. They always have a good stock of good music. In Europe, it's my own shop. I have a web shop where you can also buy streaming, digital files in different formats. Everything from 96 kilohertz for the audio connoisseur.
Oh my, yes.
Yeah, to just MP3s. So I have everything, different packages there, and you can also order the album from jonasreingold.se.
jonasreingold.se. That's the URL. That's where you want to go. Also, Laser's Edge usually carries the stuff, right? Ken Golden does a real good job over there. I think he's got it already. I think he's got the vinyl and the CDs. So if you're in the U.S., that's a good place to go to pick up your physical copies. So yeah, man, let's talk a little bit about this record and some of the tracks on it, man. That epic. Before you showed up, me and Kevin were like, how do you like this new Karmakanic? And we were both like, that epic.
Yeah.
That epic is so good. Oh yeah.
That 23 minutes flies by, man.
So we've got Nick DiVirgilio, we've got Randy McStein on this album. It's kind of like I love the Fringe reunion kind of going on there on this record.
No, but Nick has been my go-to drummer for a long time. I know him. We toured together, Flower Kings and Spockspade, already back in '99 in Europe. That's
I remember that tour.
Got to know him, and we did a lot of projects together. I was on his solo album.
You were on the solo album too, right? Right.
Yeah, and we've been touring in America we did a double bill with Karmakanic and Ages of Mercy. We called it Power of Two. So it's just a guy that's been around me. So it was a natural choice because he was out touring with Mr. Big. And he had a day off in Frankfurt, and my girlfriend, where I am right now, it's close to Frankfurt, and he had a day off in Frankfurt, and I just told him, let's record some drums on your day off, because you cannot rest, you have to work all the time, man.
That's right.
So I booked the studio here in Frankfurt and just did that song, so it was perfect, the perfect timing, and and it has his drumming style written all over it. It was clear that it has to be him.
Yeah, it's kind of one of my favorite rhythm sections, right?
Yeah,
Jonas and Nick DiVirgilio. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. I mean, there's
he makes me sound good. I don't contribute much.
No, you don't need. You don't need to do much. Greg Spotton's got the easiest job in the world, and no shade on Greg Spotton. He's an amazing bass player, an amazing songwriter. I'm just saying, Nick Mason had an easy job.
Yeah.
Some guys in rock and roll have easier jobs than others. No shade on them. Ringo's a great drummer, but his job was not that hard.
No,
I'm sorry.
Sometimes it's not so easy to play simple.
True that.
Picasso said that. It took me a whole lifetime to learn how to draw a straight line.
Oh yeah.
So there's can be magic in simplicity as well. Just to, AC/DC, for example, I love that band. It has nothing to do with complexity or anything. They have done the same record for 50 years, and somehow it works. But they are master on these simple grooves. Like the guitar.
I think we all have certain bands that like we love that are ridiculously easy. I remember one time I was in a band and we were like a prog rock band around like 1980, and we're playing Kansas and Styx and Yes and Genesis and that kind of stuff. And there was this band like across the way, and they were like this punk band playing the Ramones and the Dead Boys, and we used to make fun of them until I'm like, you know what? Let's play a Ramones song. And so we're trying to play it, and all these guys are so used to playing 100 notes a second. We couldn't play I Want to Be Sedated.
No, it's not that
we
easy.
Couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it, man. It was impossible. La Via Strangiata was no problem, but I Want to Be Sedated baffled us.
Yeah, sure. No, it's not easy to go for simplicity, and that's what I'm trying to do with this record as well. I have, of course, complicated parts and fast stuff and great solos and everything, but mainly music is first, to write a good song, a good tune, so you can build something around that. That is for me number one. It has to, I have to get inspired myself. Oh, this is a great tune, like that could be really lovely in a bigger context. So yeah, I'm trying to hold that in the first room, the songwriting, simplicity, like the simple stuff.
Yeah,
but
well, you know what?
Do it well,
We were talking about maybe playing the video for the first track of the album Transmutation. Tell us a little bit about Cosmic Lover, this track we're going to listen to, Jonas.
That's the oldest track of this record, actually. I wrote it 2016, right after Dot.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking to present that to the Sea Within, but it never got finished, really. So it was just a very, very
I'm glad you mentioned the Sea Within. That project seems to get a little bit forgotten. What a fantastic album. Oh, you put it on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great album.
It's one of those bands, the band broke up already before the record was done.
It did, yeah. Hey, at least Casey could do those couple of gigs, but Lorelei, I guess, was one of them. But another record that I just, before we listen to this track, Anderson Stoll, Invention of Knowledge. I know that record doesn't get a whole lot of love in prog circles. Some people are like, John Anderson stepped all up. Are you kidding me? Stop it. If I've got, a whole bunch of these musicians putting together, and John Anderson wants to sing on every single, millisecond of that record, he's more than welcome to. What a masterpiece it is. And you know what? Subtly, Jonas Reingold kind of steals the show.
Wow. I don't know about that.
He really, what a great record. Unbelievable. I love it so much. Your work with Kaipa, your work with Andy Tillison and The Tangent, those 3 Agents of Mercy albums, you were on all 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so good, man. I mean, it goes on and on. But yeah, I'm a huge fan. So I was really, really excited to hear that you guys were back from the dead, a new Karmakanic album. This is the lead-off single. Let's have a little listen to it. See if we like it. I like it. Let's see if the peeps like it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it was shot in Vienna, this video. Actually, where I live.
Can we hear it? We didn't test the audio.
I can hear it.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah. We need to. What does this stand for? Yeah, I'm getting shredded. Yeah, like this. That's you, Jonas.
Yeah, that's me, unfortunately. Not the other guy.
That was you without the leather jacket on.
Yeah.
Under the stars, a constant piece of art. We ebb and we flow, just suspend. No starts, no bitter ends. We're cruising proud, we fly like comets in the sky. We thrive, we're soaring high like hummingbird, cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. It's cosmical dust. Her love will never end. In this silent expanse, we'll do the astral dance. Hey, this cosmic tapestry, got a place for you and me, where time will just suspend. No stop, no bitter end. We're cruising proud, we fly like comets in the sky. We thrive, we're soaring high like hummingbird, cosmic love.
Such a rock star.
Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. When trouble's at your door, when hope is out of sight, when you're beaten to the floor, and you cannot take the fight, but the sky is never dark, we're surrounded by the stars. Whoa, and we know the cosmic love makes you wanna feel the universe reveals. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love. Cosmic love makes you wanna feel. Cosmic love, universe reveals. Cosmic love makes you wanna feel. Cosmic love, universe reveals. Cosmic love and cosmic wheels.
Awesome.
Cosmic love and cosmic feel. Cosmic love and cosmic wheels. Cosmic love and cosmic feel.
Oh, that's
Very nice.
And it
I love
only
it.
goes up from there, people.
Watch what
Yeah,
carrots
you're
do
right,
to
it
your
does.
dog.
Yeah.
The start of this album.
One of
Brace
these
for
days, I'm going to pay for the premium.
the very
Go ahead.
first 2-minute track going into this album, Brace for Impact. Immediately, I put that on my AirPods and was like, oh my God. So that's what we're in for. Just immediately, just
It's in the
take it
name.
away. Can I butt in and ask a question here?
Yeah.
So I noticed in the video there you're playing a red Yamaha bass, but I know you're truly a Rickenbacker guy.
Yeah, yeah, I am. But this bass was the first bass I got. My first. Well, not really my first. I got a Rickenbacker actually. That was my first bass. but I sold it and traded it against I think it was like an Atari 1040 computer, which was an absolutely horrible deal. But late 80s, that's what you did, those kind of shit things. But then I got this Yamaha bass, and it's been with me for a long time, and we just wanted some color in the video. That was the reason.
There you go. There you go. Because Cody, Jeff Shilka was asking a similar question. If you've got a favorite bass that you like playing.
No, I like, that's my bass, this one, because that's the bass I spend most time with, and it's like I know it inside and out. And
I guess so. You're like putting it on your, that was wild. That's awesome. You obviously spent a little bit of time with that bass.
Yeah, it's just like an extension to my body somehow.
Yeah. Now,
but of course, Rickenbacker is the bass I play with Steve, and that's I do for the more proggy stuff, because it has grit and growl, and it sounds like a Rickenbacker.
You got to have that Rick bass for certain things. I mean, there's no substitute for certain passages require the Rick, and nothing else will do. Is
that Yamaha? What's on the recording there?
What did I use? Yes, it was actually on that song. It was the Yamaha bass. Yeah, it was actually.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was a Rickenbacker.
No, that's great bass tone.
I can fake the Rickenbacker sound quite well nowadays. Also, it's a matter of pedals and what kind of.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of modeling and stuff like that, amp modeling, and you can get pretty close if you know what you're doing. But for those of you in the comments that were like, this is my kind of prog, I'm really digging this, you're absolutely right. But, it's actually a lot more proggy. That to me is like the most straightforward song, even though, there's a lot of, different time signatures, stuff going on there. It's still pretty straightforward track. Trust me, the rest of this album, it gets pretty deep, it gets pretty proggy, it gets pretty involved. And I guess that leads me, circles right back to that epic, man. The great Steve Hackett appears on this record. How did you get him on this record? Did you tell him, you'll be a good boy and play really well on the next tour if you play on my record? How'd that go down?
No, I didn't have to put a gun to his head, So
yeah.
I asked nicely. We recorded on tour because that's when I can get hold of him.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of things actually was recorded on tour for this album. The drums with Craig, I recorded in Nashville because we had a couple of days off, and some vocals with Amanda, some keyboards and saxophones and stuff was recorded because I always bring a little portable studio with me and a microphone. What you see there in the pictures, when we're recording in that room, and there was just, I asked him, can you record some guitar for me? I play on a few songs of your next album. So it was not that hard to make that happen, and I know his schedule perfectly when I'm on tour.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly when to hit him up, exactly when is the right time. Yeah. And yes, indeed, this is exactly why the Prog Corner is the greatest channel on YouTube. 100%. Take that, Andy Edwards. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Although I got to say, Jonas, I saw you... You spent a little time with our good buddy Roy over at the Prog Report, and you were telling him something I did not know about you. I knew you were like early on in your career. You were real busy doing a lot of different stuff. You had your hand in a lot of different things, but you were talking about being a part of like this Japanese black metal market, putting out records. What? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was not black metal, but it was heavy metal. It just started by coincidence. We got a fax one day. The studio got a fax from a Japanese label, and they said, because we asked them, so what is Japan searching for at this very moment? And we got a fax back. It was in the old days before emails and everything. We like this melodic heavy metal, like bands like Yngwie Malmsteen. Europe was very popular in Japan, and this melodic metal. Let's we discussed that, and let's put a record together. And we did it in 2 weeks. Just put a record like that together. Just and shipped it, and it was quite successful. And then they asked for more albums and more, and we had to start like different bands, like this formation, the same players.
Yeah, different names. Did you come up with like fake band names and stuff like that?
I have a funny story because I played all the keyboards, like that. And man, we need a keyboard player and we had like the garbage guy who came every day and took the garbage from the studio. He had super cool long hair, So, hey, what about you? You put on a black Petrov leather jacket tomorrow, and we have a little photo session. You get $50, and you will be called Mike Rock. Is that okay with you? Yeah, sure. I want to make $50. He came the next day, and we took this photo with Mike Rock on keyboards. The problem was that the biggest magazine in Japan is called Burn Magazine. And one day we got a fax, Burn Magazine would really like to have an interview with Mike Rock, So I had to fake like my voice and yes, Mike. It's Mike Rock here. Were crazy times, but it was a lot of fun, and we just took the piss out of the whole thing, But we never told anybody. Now 30 years passed, so I can tell the stories. But back then I couldn't.
Hey, Jonas, you're new here. You'll get used to it. I'm going to cut you off every single time you start talking. It's just who I am. My wife absolutely hates me. I don't know why she's married to me. I really don't. But we've got none other than Scott Medina lurking in the peanut gallery. He's got a question. How ballsy is it to release an album of the year already in March? Oh, isn't that sweet? He gave you guys a fantastic review over there at Sonic Perspectives.
Oh yeah, I read that. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Scott. Beautiful.
He is one of a kind. He is the only guy allowed around here to spell his name with 2 T's. So
yeah,
it's all right. But
thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, the year is not over yet. Many good releases. Come, but so at least we are through the qualification round. I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think almost by default, but then a couple spins through. Jonas, thank you. I've had the album for I don't know. You gave it to me like 3-4 weeks ago. It feels like so. I've run through it like 20 times. I'm trying to find things I don't like about it. That's a good sign, right? Yeah. I mean, and it is absolutely phenomenal, but. When I first read, the first thing I heard about this record was on your Facebook. You were talking about, I'm putting a little record together with a couple drummers named Craig Blundell, Nick DiVirgilio, and I don't know, some other cat named Simon Phillips. I don't know. Maybe you guys have heard of him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. My mind was like blowing up, smoke coming out my ears, and I could actually see veins and stuff. And then I hear John Mitchell is going to be singing, and honestly, I was like, he's everywhere, man. Do I want a Karmakanic album to sound like every other album that's coming out in the prog scene? And I love John, and the answer is absolutely yes. But were you worried about John maybe being a little overexposed and how this might impact your record at all?
No, of course I know all the bands he's been involved.
He's in everything. He's in Asia. Yeah. He's in Arena. He's in this Lonely Robot. That.
No, but
Kino.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the music. I think the songs, the quality of the songs, and I think because I'm producing it, he probably also approach his vocals a little bit differently than he normally does. I'm quite particular with certain things when we're working, and so. It has a different aura around it than when he does something by himself. When you're collaborating with somebody, you get a new thing out of that. And so I wasn't worried at all. I think I just wanted it to sound as good as possible. That was my only concern. And if he'd been on 1,000 other records, so be it.
Yeah, if you want the best.
That's what I thought,
right?
Listening to it. Like, or you usually hear his voice, you instantly know it's him. I didn't get that. Particularly the very first song that I ever heard was the single.
Yeah,
And
right.
that we just watched on the video, and he doesn't jump out the way he normally does. So I completely agree. And plus, I love his voice anyway. He's in my top 15 vocalists, so I'm fine with it. But he sounds different, I believe.
I don't know. Do you think maybe some of that has to do with some of Randy's backup singing?
Yeah, Randy, for example, on the song "At the End of the Road," Randy singing the bridges and the backing harmonies on the bridge and everything. So that of course creates a different flavor as well, and I like that. And also like on the Transmutation track to have some female vocals in there that matching John very well, I think, and that makes it also different.
Yeah.
So you have to use what you have to make the best of what you have somehow. And I'm trying to just mix up things, so it should never be boring to listen to an album. You always have to create things, new things, like it's entertainment after all.
Well, I think the overarching theme that I'm getting from it, just listening to it, looking at the lineup, like all the players involved with this thing, but all the way down to like who mixed this thing. Chris Lord-Alge.
That's
hello.
The undisputed heavyweight
Hello.
champion mixing. He'd done a lot. I think he'd done like 25,000 songs or something. He mixed, and he did everything from Tina Turner to James Brown to Madonna. He did Aerosmith. He did Guns N' Roses. He did everything.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, Rolling Stones, and he had
Muse.
Bruce Springsteen. Involved in
Peter Gabriel.
yeah. The list is long, and when you walk into his studio and watching all those gold and multi-platinum albums that is on his walls, the awards for that. Oh, you did that song. It's
and not to mention the Grammys. He's like multiple Grammy winner, like 5-time award winner. Just so you're dealing with some cat that's probably got a decent ear at least.
Yeah, he's very, very good, and I had the chance to spend a week with him in LA and mix this album during the fires. Actually, it was super weird. By the way.
Oh wow.
To be involved with something insignificant as music when people's homes are burning down, what it was weird, but we managed. We couldn't do anything about it, so we said, okay, let's make the best album possible. At least that's what we can do. But it was amazing to spend a week with him and see how he worked, and I learned a lot.
I bet.
Masterclass deluxe.
I bet. Crash course in the right way of doing stuff. It's like, I've been doing this wrong my whole career. I had no idea. If he says you do it that way.
And the reason, normally a pro guy like me cannot afford a guy like that, because he's only working with the super major artists, that. He did Bon Jovi last one. He did Dolly Parton's was number one, and it's out of my league, as a pro guy. But he loves Genesis. He's the biggest Genesis fan there is. He has all the keyboards from Tony Banks in his studio. He bought them, the same keyboards Tony used on Foxtrot and those albums. So he's a true fanboy. So when I asked him, because he always comes to the shows with the Hackett, that's also one positive thing of being in Hackett, because you're meeting all those great people. We got friends over the years, and he always comes to the shows. Super fanboy. And I just asked him, could you consider mixing my album? Of course I cannot afford you, Chris, but can you still mix it? Just because maybe you like the music. And he said, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely seems to have it's got a snap, crackle, and pop to it that kind of has not been there since, for me, Wheel of Life. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's in the running for the best Karmakanic album so far. Absolutely incredible. Cody, you ran off and got yourself something. What you got in your hand there?
Just want to say I met your boss quite a few times, and I love him.
Yeah. That's Steve, and who's to the left?
That's me.
That's
Long
young
time
Cody,
Long
little
time
baby.
All right, it's you. All right.
I interviewed Steve about 3 years ago. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's very, very nice guy. He's the best boss you can have.
I'm a drummer, and I would give everything in my life to play with you guys on stage sometime. I know that'll probably never happen.
Yeah,
but
let's make that happen. That's a done
man.
deal.
Just give me a gig, give me $1,000 or something to drink, and I will be there. Very
There you go.
I want to ask you something about this record. As it was mentioned before, this is on Reingold Records. How did that come about, and what's it like having your own label?
Reingold Records is something that I started in 2009 already. So this is release number 22 on my label. So I did a live album with Flower Kings. I did the live album with Agents of Mercy and Karmakanic. I've done a few Lalle Larsson solo albums. Yeah, all kinds of different things. So the label was already there. And times of today, it's the wind is blowing that way. You don't put yourself on major labels anymore because there's no point. Because I'm talking to the same guys promoting these albums as I would if I was on Inside Out, for example. And for me, I have 100% control of the record. All the money I make goes to me, and so I can pay the musician decently. So it's much more control than getting the 15% of the sales, when you're on a record label. So for me, it was a savior, this is the reason I could have Simon Phillips and those guys on the record, because, I'm in control over the money. And if I do good, I make a lot of money, but I also take the risk if I don't, So, but
great. Well, you're doing good here, man. I'll be playing this. I have 2 radio shows, and
Why don't you tell the people about your 2 radio shows, Cody?
Well, I have a show every Thursday afternoon that I do with my girlfriend, who is also a big fan of yours. She loves The Tangent, she told me to say. But so we'll be playing your music over on Prog Radio every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern. Then I do a show on Deep Nuggets Radio every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will also be playing this. I'll be playing this everywhere that I can possibly be allowed to play it.
You can play it as much as you want.
There you go. Hey, we got Wayne in the Peanut Gallery. He's saying Jonas's bass work on song. I guess he's talking about songs from the Hard Shoulder by The Tangent. Is the album that got him into modern prog.
Yeah, cool. No, I recorded many albums with the Tangent. I think it's 11 or something like that. We go way back. I think the first.
You were only missing on 2, I think, right? Like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we fell out for a few years, just like that.
That dirty Andy Tillison, I'm gonna get that guy.
No, we had to take a break for a few years, but it's like that. It's like a marriage,
Right.
It goes in waves like this,
That's right. That's right. That dirty Royna Stoll, I'll get you. And are you guys okay? You and Royna?
Yeah, sure. We were going to play together actually in May. We're doing a festival in Holland together with Neil Morse and a few other guys. The singer from Haken, Eric Gillette, who plays guitar.
Yeah. I saw that. That's crazy. I thought that was a joke.
No. It's not a joke. I don't know what we're going to play, but we will play.
What are you going to call it? It's got to have a name, right?
I don't know. We have no name yet.
Oh, you got to come up with something. You got to come up with some like crazy over the top super proggy super group name.
No, but we'll probably play a little bit from the Transatlantic catalog and maybe it's a Flower King song. Maybe I can throw in a Karmakanic tune in there as well. We don't know. We haven't discussed the set list yet because
send a message from the heart would go over with any single prog crowd, I would think, and anything from the new album. I mean, I think this record's gonna do a little something because I think people were hungry. I think people kind of forgot because it had been a minute since Dot, right? So I think people had forgotten, and this is like a great reminder at just how amazing Karmakanic has been over the years. I mentioned it before. Wheel of Life is just an amazing record. Kevin, you came in with a Dot, right? That was where your mind kind of blew up.
I came in with Boss in the Factory, was the first album I heard. Loved it, devoured it. So Dot was the first one I waited for it to come out. That I remember actually, it's coming out. I can't wait to get it. And I got it, and it was awesome. And
no, but I have to say the reception so far has been amazing. You know, I got so good feedback for this album. I'm truly grateful that people seem to like it and that they understood the record, you know, somehow.
We gave it 5 stars at Prog Radio. I think we've only had maybe 2 5-star albums so far this year. So,
what was the other one?
Good question.
I've only given out 1 perfect score this year. I've given out 1.
I know what it was. It was
what was that?
Echoland.
Echoland, Time Silent Radio 2. Absolutely. I graded them. Did you grade them separately as 2 separate albums?
4.5 we gave to the 7.
Okay. I gave 8.5 and a 10.
Yeah.
But that 10 stands, man. So we'll see. We'll see what score Transmutation gets. Tune in, boys and girls, because I will be doing a review of the brand new Karmakanic album, Transmutation, next week on the channel. I will also be doing a review. I know both you and your lovely fiance have been doing episodes about Curious Ruminant, the brand new and 24th album from Jethro Tull. So we'll be talking a little bit about Jethro Tull next week too on the channel. What have you got going on your channel this week, Cody?
More videos. I will be doing an album review for this, sort of in conjunction with what we're doing here today.
That's right. Everybody needs to talk about this album. You can't have too many reviews, right? If you're out there listening, it's like, well, I don't want to review it because, you know, so-and-so's already reviewed it. And, you know, the more the merrier. Everybody's got to be talking about this record.
Yeah.
I'll be talking about this tons on Brockway's Vinyl Bites here on YouTube. So come subscribe to my channel, check it out, and there'll be more Jonas goodness going on over there and plenty of other fun stuff, too.
Great stuff. Kevin, thank you for rearranging your schedule because I know we had a little bit of a time thing going on with the whole daylight savings thing, and your host is an idiot. He totally forgot, 100% forgot that we had a little time change here in the U.S., so I decided, hey, Jonas can pick the time and whatever. We'll work around it, but you had a little bit of a schedule readjust you had to do to stay here the entire length. I appreciate you,
I
Kevin.
didn't want to miss today. Such a fan.
No, I had to be here too. When I got the itinerary and I saw Jonas Reingold, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to be on this one.
Are you guys going to be on the cruise this year?
I'm not.
Okay, Cruise to the Edge starts with the kickoff show, which is April 3rd, I think.
Yeah, April 3rd.
Is that kickoff show like top secret location or something like that, or is it going to be onshore? Or are they going to have it on the boat? How does that work?
I don't know about that show because I'm not involved because we do a gig with Hackett there the 3rd in Florida somewhere. So I don't know anything about the kickoff party there. But I'm
not going. I can't. You know, your boy he can't get on that cruise ship. They don't want any of that action. But So apparently that kicks off. Then it should be amazing. That lineup for Cruise to the Edge, absolutely insane. I mean, I wish I could go on that. Kevin, have you ever been on that cruise?
Never. It's on my to-do list, but I'm always busy. It's always a scheduling thing with me. We need to start making the big bucks like Roy, so they just let us go on there and run the show.
That's right. You know, hey, it's there's a whole lot of opportunity out here. Not for the artists, unfortunately, right? I mean, guys with all the talent like the Jonas Reingolds of the world, you know, they're not the ones going to be cashing in. It's going to be clowns like me and Barry Robinson and Andy Edwards and Pete Pardo are the ones that are going to be cashing in because these people are actually like pivoting around their YouTube channel. What is it? Pete Pardo, he does like a festival every year now.
All right.
He started with a YouTube channel, and now he's doing like a festival, and then you've got all these other people doing all this crazy stuff. Well, Do you know that YouTube channel Tastes Like Music?
Oh,
they're outstanding. They've got their own record label now, Taste Like Records. He just sent me their very first record. The future's looking good for idiots who have YouTube channels. I'm in a good place right here in life, Jonas.
Yeah, luckily I just started a Karmakanic YouTube channel. I recognized we don't have a YouTube channel, so I just started like a week ago.
Yeah,
and uploaded some videos on it. So please go to Karmakanic official and subscribe, everybody who sees this, because I need all the help I can get.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, Scott on a cruise ship would be an international incident. Yeah, they don't want that. They know better. I would be in the bridge trying to steer the boat the whole time. I'm that idiot that lived on a boat from the age of 14 to 18. So now I think I know everything there is to know about boats, right? So.
yeah, they are quite big, those boats. So.
That's a big one. Yeah, they're not boats; they're ships. Oh, you're getting all kinds of hot. Oh, you're getting all kinds of hot water if you call it a boat. You don't know nothing about nautical life. That's a ship, there, Sonny Bob. I don't care about any of that. Jonas, what's going on in your world this week? I know you're a busy man, spending some time sitting down here in the Prog Corner. But what are you busy towards, and happening in your life?
Right now. I've been extremely busy, for this release, because I also packing all the CDs to the people myself, sign the records, pack them, go to the post office, send them myself, one-man band. So I do all that, but it feels good because you're really in contact with your audience, and you get like a name to everyone who bought the CD, and it feels good to be the small time in that way, but sincere, and they get the product, and they get
you're hands on. That's the thing. You're not letting other people do all the other stuff. There's no middleman. So you're taking away a barrier.
But it was a 24/7 mission. It's really, I worked like hell to get all those albums out to people before the 7th of March. So now I'm actually free for a week. Me and my girlfriend, we will try to make the video number 2. It will be, I will do a edit version of At the End of the Road, like a shorter version of that, and try to make a video. And then I go to London the week after that to rehearse a little bit with Steve Hackett, because we have a tour coming up in Europe in April, May, and we do the cruise as well. And we have a new drummer on board for that, a German guy that we have to rehearse a little bit with. And then we go to Japan, and then I'm planning a vinyl release in July. So, it's busy. So I don't have to worry what I should do every day.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Hey, you know what? There's never a dull moment around here either, Jonas. We are so happy and so blessed that you're here with us today. But I would be remiss if I didn't just do a brief rundown of all the stuff that's happening on our live Sunday show, the longest running live prog stream anywhere on the planet. And it's right here for you boys and girls every Sunday. Next Sunday on the show, the great Norwegian stoner prog band Sycophant joins us. I love these guys, man. One of my favorite debut albums of 2024. It was so great. They got a new EP called Red Sun. Have you heard it yet, Kevin?
Have not.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's so good. Oh, March 23rd. We're doing the Battle of 1977. This is going to be fun. I have picked 4 albums from 1977. We're going to do a Farewell to Kings versus Going for the One versus Point of No Return versus what? What did I miss? Animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the 4. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Then March 30th. Oh, yeah. To honor the great American prog band Nectar, Mo Moore, Derek Moore coming onto the show. They got a U.S. tour coming in April. So we're going to do the top 10 Nectar songs with Mo Moore, man. I love this guy. He's great. Have you met this guy, Kevin?
Have not.
Oh, Derek Moore's a good guy. That'll be fun. I love Nectar.
Tough job picking 10 songs from that catalog.
I love Nectar. And then, Davey Cretin, one of my favorite people in the world. He's been begging me to do a show about Threshold. So we're going to do the top 10 Threshold songs.
Great band.
Do you want in on this one, Cody? April 6th. Mark your calendar. Threshold with Davey Cretin. Oh, it just, I'm not done yet, man. How about this? April 13th, Steve Babb is going to be in the house. We're going to be talking about Glass Hammer. Oh, the granddaddy of all American prog bands, right? Who's that little band from Kansas? I forget their name. They don't count. Oh, April 20th, 420. Jonas, you're going to like this one. I've got none other than Roy DeStalt coming in the house on 420. Oh, yeah, the Flower King himself. I think we're going to have your replacement in here, too. Right. I think it'll be the Stolt brothers. So tune in for that. That'll be outstanding. I'm excited about this one. Jonas, I know you've heard this guy. If you haven't, you need to buy this album immediately. He's got a brand new album out, his second album. He's going to be here April 27th. It's none other than Dominic Sanderson. Oh, man, am I excited about this record. Have you heard it yet? Oh, the new Dominic Sanderson. What's it called? I'm blanking right now. I don't normally do that. I'm usually really good at, like, remembering stuff on the fly. I'm a YouTuber. I remember stuff like that. Blazing Revelations, boys and girls, by Dominic Sanderson. I said I've only given out 110 so far this year. That's not going to last. Then May 11th, Kevin. I'm out of order here. May 4th. I'm going to try to get Roy from the Prog Report here, but we're going to have somewhere in February Inside Out artists. Not my usual thing, right? They're kind of instrumental prog metal-y kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking about instrumental prog on May 4th. And then on May 11th, we're going to close it out with none other than Brian Coombs. Talk about a guy that knows a little something about Tony Banks, right? We're doing the Rocking Horse Music Club on May 11th. Brian, he's quite a character, that Brian Coombs, isn't he?
Well, and I've heard that album, and it's a great one.
When does that come out?
They got album of the year. I think they're going to push it like 2 days before he's on your show is the release date. But that was album of the year for us.
So we're pushing the release date. Are we pushing the release date just the time with little old me?
He's moving it forward just a little bit.
You see, this is the power of the Prog Corner, Jonas. You don't understand the power of this place right here, man. Oh yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Ian is his usual self. He's late for 420. Come on, man.
I got one more question for Jonas here. So I know a lot of your big influences is Chris Squire and a lot of the brilliant English prog musicians. And I'm from Canada, but I know we have two American guys up on the top here. Who is your favorite American progressive rock or progressive metal band? Or at least give me three.
No. Yeah, if I would pick an American musician that meant tremendously a lot to me through my education, how the way I play, that is Jaco Pastorius.
Jaco.
Yeah. So it's not a prog, but he's probably the most influential musician on me. He was my university how to play bass, But I would say the Canadian guy from Rush.
That guy's all right. That Getty guy.
Get a lead.
I like him.
Of course, important. Tony Levin is great. I love his stuff, what he does over, with King Crimson and all that, and with Gabriel and. Yeah, there are many,
No, there's so many.
Yeah. Hey, Jonas, it was a real pleasure getting to chat with you today, my friend.
Fun episode. I mean, it's not every day we have, I do all my rankings, like the top 10 guitar players in the history of prog, and the top 10 this and the top 10 that. It's not every day that somebody that's in my top 10 actually pops up onto my show. I think I got you ranked somewhere between... Pekka Bajoria and Jaco Pastorius.
Oh wow, that's honoring to be mentioned.
So you're in some pretty good company as far as I'm concerned. But I think I had Chris Squire at number one, didn't I?
Of course.
He's the godfather of prog.
Of course I did.
But I'll tell you, if you want to say distinct sounds, certainly Chris, but then Jonas. I mean, you know, he's got a very unique sound. It's all his, and it's a great one.
No, that's a good point. To have that individual, unique sound is not easy to do. Anybody can play the notes, right?
Yeah, of course.
I can teach a monkey to play the notes, but to make it sound like that?
Yeah. No, but it's a combination of everything. You know, who did you listen to? What did you study when you practice in your instrument in the first place? And all that comes together to the sound that is you, I guess. And I listen to Chris Squire and I listen to Jacob Pastore, so I consider myself maybe some a mix between those two, you know.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And then it's just your own thing, you know, and that's where the magic comes in, and that's why we love our guest Jonas Reingold so much. The guy that has provided us with so much great music. Somebody in the Peanut Gallery commented, is like, wow, I didn't know how many albums I had that this guy's played bass on. And I think I was, you know, that just scratches the surface right there. It's just ridiculous. If you're a fan of modern prog rock, you know exactly who he is. He's got a brand new album out, The Return of Karmakanic. Transmutation came out Friday. There's the album cover. It is a slice of prog heaven. If you are a prog guy like I am, you're going to love it. It's got everything we want about prog. It's got the shorter, snappier songs. It's got the prog epic. It's got the Steve Hackett cameos. It's got everything right there. Definitely a candidate for Album of the Year. Jonas, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to sit and talk to you guys.
Yes. For Cody and Kevin, my usual co-pilots, we got to get Wayne back on here. He'll definitely be back on for that Battle of 1977, right? We got to have him on for that one, at the very least. But anyway, boys and girls, I love you. Peace in the Middle East. We need it right now more than ever, don't we? Things are getting crazy out there. It's wild. It's cuckoo. I don't understand the world anymore, but that's all right because, you know, we're going to free Tibet. We're going to free the Ukraine. Yes, we will. We're going to free that Ukraine. I don't care what J.D. Vance says. We're going to free the Ukraine. We're going to free Willie. We're going to free your mind. We got free beer, and we're going to free King Chucky the second and the third and the fourth. Oh, yeah, and then we're going to dance with snakes. Why are we going to dance with snakes, Kevin from Prog Radio? We're going to dance with them rattlesnakes because, oh, what the? Oh, they're venomous. Oh, a little hungry today. Oh. That was for Jonas Reingold, boys and girls. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow when I talk about Jethro Tull. Oh, some band you've never heard of, Jethro Tull. They're all right, I guess. I'll see you then. Peace.
Peace and love, guys.
Hey,
Bye.